era, the modern era, to have the trifecta, receiving, throwing, and catching touchdowns. The first one to do it since his teammate, Christian McCaffrey. Doesn't sound as impressive if you say that it just happened a couple years ago, but it did. McCaffrey did it in 2022. And so Buffalo has now won 7 straight since back-to-back losses to Baltimore and Houston. They are 10-2 or better for the fifth time in franchise history. First time since way back in 1991. Holy Andre Reed, Batman. 1991. But the better story is in the losing locker room, and so that is where we shall go here. San Francisco is now 5-7. They suck. They're 5-7 on the season. Back-to-back blowout losses in cold environments at Lambeau and now in Buffalo. So let us discuss the question: who is responsible for the 49ers' downfall at this point? Now, they still have a mathematical chance of getting the playoffs because of the division. The entire division blows. Seattle sucks. The Rams are no good. The Cardinals have Alligator Arms Murray. What a joke that is. So the division's garbage. So someone's going to win the division and get a home playoff game. The Niners still mathematically have a chance. But who's responsible for the Niners being 2 games under 500 after 13 weeks of the season have been played here? So I've got poster boy, all-inclusive, and a demarcation. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a nice hoagie is what we're going to make. So the first part of this is obviously the replacements. We start with that, right? Because the game of football, the injury rate is 100% in the game of football, and the 49ers have depended more so than in other years on replacements, backup players to fill the void. And it's fair to say the backup players have not been able to fill the void. They have not. You don't need some blowhard on the radio to tell you that. Just watch the games. That's the way it is. And Kyle Shanahan, if you look, he's worked as a bartender here, and he has served up the perfect toxic cocktail this season. You've got equal parts injury, some season-ending injuries like Brandon Ayuk, the wide receiver who demanded to get paid, got paid, then got hurt. Underperformance of players that had success in the past but are not having success now. Guys who have needed to perform at a higher level and have been unable to perform at a higher level. Now, I would argue that the poster boy of that group of the 49er locker room is Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel, for one season, was the most electric, most dynamic playmaker in the NFL. But that's it. If you look at the rest of his career, he hadn't been that impressive. And this season, Deebo needed to rise up, right? Needed to step his game up for the 49ers. And this game on Sunday night, a perfect example. He did nothing, really nothing in the pass game. Oh, it was snowing. All right, it was snowing for both sides. But Deebo Samuel, his contribution for most of these games has been when the players come out on the field, he dances while somebody holds a boombox. He's really good at that. Like, he's really entertaining with a boombox, but then when the game starts, he sucks. It's fascinating. It really is. Last 3 weeks, Deebo Samuel, not his real name, 9 catches, no touchdowns, and 63 total receiving yards over the last 3 weeks when the Niners have needed someone, the last 3 games here, to step up, and he's the guy making the big money, and his days are numbered in the Bay Area. Without a doubt, his days are numbered here. He's likely going to be sent packing at the end of the season. Now, speaking of being sent packing and the 49ers, who still have a shot to make the playoffs. We mentioned location. The NFC West is not very good. So someone's going to get into the playoffs, and someone's going to get a home game as a division winner in the playoffs. But the 49er running back, Christian McCaffrey, suffering what is believed to be a ligament damage, the PCL, not the Pacific Coast League, the PCL in his right knee. And he is in jeopardy, but not on the TV show Jeopardy, but he's in jeopardy the rest of the season. Kyle Shanahan, the coach, said he thinks it is a season-ending injury, although more tests need to be done, which tells you that Shanahan obviously, he already knows that it's a season-ending injury, but he's trying to be optimistic, like maybe somehow there'll be some pixie dust that somebody puts on Christian McCaffrey and his right knee there, and he'll be able to come back and play. It's normally, at minimum, a several-week injury. At minimum, and if you do the math on this, it's not looking good. So has Christian McCaffrey played his final game for the 49ers here in this NFL season? And I'm nodding my head yes. I know you're probably wondering if I'm doing that or not because you can't see me because it's radio, even though there's a camera in here. I'm nodding my head yes. I'm nodding my yes. The Niners, what they're doing, and I determined this was a delayed reaction, but it is playing out the way that we originally had thought, the original take, all the hot take artists had when the Niners went out and made the big, sexy move with Carolina a couple years ago. Now the Niners are getting the all-inclusive Christian McCaffrey experience. There was a delayed reaction for the first season and a half. It was wonderful. It was Casablanca. Perfect fit. Just everything was great. McCaffrey, the honeymoon period there with the 49ers, 27 games of goodness. Not even good, greatness for the 49ers and McCaffrey. MVP-level football from the running back. He got more money, and now here we go, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute. This is more like the 2020, 2021 version of Christian McCaffrey, battered, bruised, completely beaten by the NFL, broken down running back. McCaffrey limited to 4 games this season if his season is over. That's it, 4 games on the season. Now, I mentioned that the Niners have a shot here to make the playoffs. Now, Brock Purdy, who's also going to demand a bunch of money and will get paid a bunch of money, whether it's the 49ers or someone else is going to pay him a gazillion dollars. He's going to get tons and tons of money. Well, here he is dipping into the bag of cliches to talk about what has to happen now for the Niners. Take a listen.
Every game's got to be must-win for us. We don't have any room, clearly, if we want to make the playoffs and get ahead and do the thing that we've set out to do before the season, man. Every win's got to be a must-win, and so that's plain as day, and we all know that. So, like I said, we all just got to be accountable and grow from it, and we don't have a lot of room for error right now. We got to go.
Okay, thank you, Captain Obvious. So does that mean the Niners haven't been accountable? Are we supposed to surmise from the comments by the Niners quarterback that every game hasn't been must-win, that there hasn't been a sense of urgency by the Bay, that there isn't accountability in the Niner locker room, and that now with their backs against the proverbial wall, now all of a sudden they're trying to have accountability? Now, at this point, every game matters, but they didn't take every game seriously? Is that what Brock Purdy is implying by that commentary? All right, meanwhile, last word. Let's go to the winning side. I always get crap from Bills Mobile. When the Bills win a lot, you don't talk about the Bills because they win, and you talk about the losing team. Oh, that's true, because it's a better story. But the Bills played wonderful. They played as they were supposed to do, a outdoor team, a cold weather team against a West Coast, soft West Coast team. They played the way they were supposed to play. Congratulations. But do Josh Allen and the Bills, I heard this commentary a lot, the implication on the broadcast, and just in general, the NFL conversation over the last couple weeks about home field and the Bills beating Kansas City head-to-head. So they have, should they end up with the same record as the Chiefs beating the Bills, or the Bills beating the Chiefs, rather. So if they end up with the same record, advantage tiebreaker goes to Buffalo, and in a proverbial matchup down the line, that game would be played in Western New York. So, do Josh Allen and the Bills have to have home field advantage for them to get out of the AFC? And the answer to that is an obvious no. Despite what you likely have read and what you have heard and what you have seen, the answer is no. That is a myth. It is a myth that we can debunk. The Bills, if I'm not mistaken, last year at home in the playoffs went belly up. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And while Bills Mafia is great and it's fun to watch fat, middle-aged people jump on tables and light themselves on fire, who doesn't enjoy that? That said, right, it's not a point of demarcation. It's not. It's like if they have to play on the road, they've crossed the Rubicon. No. That's just not true. And it comes down to this every single time. And we talk about the playoffs every year, and the same thing comes up. And it's people get all worked up into a lather about this, that, things that don't matter. The matchups, this is going to blow you away. The matchups don't really matter. They don't. The film doesn't really matter all that much. It doesn't. Home field certainly doesn't matter. Even a snow globe, outdoor, cold weather team. The injuries, believe it or not, don't really matter that much. All that matters in these postseason games is who performs better in the moment. That's it. That's it. You have backups. The Philadelphia Eagles won a Super Bowl with their backup quarterback a few years ago because he played better than Tom Brady. For that one playoff run, he was better. But if you looked at the matchup, say, wow, no chance, Nick Foles, come on. You say, well, that's an outlier, but it has happened more than once where backup quarterbacks have gone on runs in the playoffs and all that. But the point is, don't suck at a time you cannot suck. And if you rise to the occasion, the immense pressure of the playoffs, it doesn't matter whether you're at home or on the road or in the dome or you're outside. It doesn't matter. You play anywhere. That's what matters.